All good things come to an end, but in games like Animal Crossing, what does the end even look like? Animal Crossing is a sandbox game that provides players with the freedom to explore and interact with the world in a non-linear fashion. Players start out with a minimal, predetermined goal, or even with a goal that they set for themselves. The core concept is inspired by a literal sandbox where children can build, create, and explore freely, just like Minecraft, The Legends of Zelda, The Sims, or even Grand Theft Auto Online. This genre happens to be one of my favorites, but it does suffer from one big problem. Eventually, at some point, you end up logging on, running in circles, twiddling your thumbs, and then log out after not achieving a single thing. Or maybe you get stuck in an endless loop of gathering materials and money that you no longer need, trying to prolong the inevitable death of your favorite game. Every sandbox game will ask you quietly to decide, am I done? For some players, Animal Crossing New Horizons does have a traditional ending. You hit 3 stars on your island, and KK Slider visits. He sings the opening theme while the credits play. That moment feels like it's all over. Game complete, roll credits. But for most, this is the end of the tutorial and the beginning of something new. Most gamers will stretch it further. You grind out your house upgrades until Nook finally says, no more debt. And you've unlocked everything. Nook's Cranny, the museum, you even max out your island rating. You've done it. There's no more upgrades. These achievements can feel like satisfying stopping points. Not because the game tells you to stop, but because you look around and think, yeah, this feels complete. Like putting the last piece in a jigsaw puzzle. But what about those who end up dropping the game somewhere in between, not completing all of the milestones, but feeling satisfied with how they've decorated? When do you call it quits? How do you know when it's time to let go? There's also the in-between players who know deep down that they're done, but aren't ready to let go. You don't want to play anymore, but the idea of moving on feels wrong. This game meant something to you, and some people never find a proper end to the game. Your island will sit stagnant for 6 months until you dust off your Switch because you feel bad about abandoning your villagers, only to play a couple of days and then get bored all over again. You pick a couple of weeds, and then the feeling that made you drop it in the first place comes back. No progress, no goals, just guilt. This is sandbox fatigue. You get overwhelmed by infinite possibilities, the ambiguous rules you set early on, or even bored by your own routine. If you suspect yourself of being burnt out, you should check out my previous scripted video. Maybe I can help you reignite your passion for the game you once loved. Knowing when to move on is one of the hardest things to do, especially when it comes to sandbox games. You can always create a stack of games that you haven't touched in 6 months, play them through and reflect on how you felt. Maybe you'll remember how much you love something and question why you ever stopped playing. Or maybe there will be no spark and you picture the cartridge sitting on your shelf untouched for another 6 months. If you're the latter, I think you should ask yourself whether it's time to move on, sell the game you no longer want, and open up your space for new and amazing things. There are so many great games out there just waiting to be discovered. It's okay to have a soft ending. You don't need someone else's permission to decide when you're done. But what if you've persisted through all of the slumps, completed all of the goals, even the stretch goals, and still aren't finished with the game? The great thing about Animal Crossing is that it has creativity to it, and even a completionist can find something else to do. Museum complete. Villager portraits collected. S rank in the Happy Home Academy, of course. Even obscure things like hybrid flower breeding, every DIY collected, and every KK Slider song. Somehow, they're still playing. That's the magic of the sandbox games. They don't end unless you say so. Tear down your build, pick a new theme, and start a new island. If you're not done with the game, then nobody's stopping you. I know it can be scary hitting the reset button on an island you've spent thousands of hours on, but if you're ready to move on, you'll know. You may be resetting the island, but you don't have to lose the memories. You can take a picture of your favorite builds, upload a tour to your social media, and invite friends over to your island to have a going away party. Rebirth doesn't have to be sad. It's a new beginning and the start of another 1,000 hours of fun. Give yourself permission to begin again. Focus on play and not perfection. The beauty of Animal Crossing is that every restart is a chance to fall in love with the game all over again. At some point, the question becomes less of what can I do and more of do I still want to? And it's okay if the answer changes over time. Creativity is infinite, but your interest might not be. The truth? You're in control of how much you get out of the game, and that includes knowing when it's time to move on. Did I beat Animal Crossing? Maybe to some. In previous games, I've collected every bug, fossil, and fish I could find. I've paid off my debts, and I did my best to get a good score in Happy Home Academy. In Animal Crossing New Leaf, I was the person walking around, a billionaire, just logging in to press A on my favorite villagers every once in a while. In New Horizons, I've reset multiple times, and currently my fossil collection is done and I'm about to complete my house upgrades. But to be honest, I'm far from finished with the franchise. Every time I beat Animal Crossing, I always end up taking a break, growing some distance, and looking forward to what's next. I've still got a lot to do in New Horizons, so feel free to subscribe and stick around to see what I get up to. According to my analytics, 94.6% of people watching my videos are not subscribed. So if you like videos like this and want to support my channel, make sure to hit the subscribe button, like, and comment. Your engagement helps keep me motivated and lets me know what kind of content you enjoy.